This weekend, Andy gets into pinball, Ryan gets into pickleball, and we delve into the nightmare world of Wario. I'm Ryan,
I'm Andy.
and this is Weekend Rental, episode 221. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Andy, how are things going?
Just a wonderful time to live in Minnesota right now. But
Yeah, I mean,
that's
or the world, you know?
yes.
I mean, the weather outside's been great, so that's a positive.
Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
outside of federal occupation, it's been pretty good.
yeah, and it gets rid of all those incidental weather related hazards that lead to mishaps when it's warm out. So you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, we don't have to get into all that, but
No, it has been a depressing time to turn on the TV, though.
yeah.
That's for sure. Uh, so you've been gaming much? I'm curious. You sent me a picture yesterday on that X arcade you bought that is compatible with the Quest. How's that going?
Yeah. I've seen these things before, and like when they first came out, it was, a big wave of people getting them for review units and doing reviews, and I thought they were kind of the dumbest thing for $500, I think they were at
Yeah.
that point. And I'm like, there's no way that that thing's worth that much. And it's just seemed dumb. And it's like, well, these are all review. People got it for free. You know how that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I was getting served up ads that over the holidays that it was like down to $279 or something like that.
Which is kind of what a normal X arcade costs, anyway. So
Right. Yeah. So with, I think you're right. I think just the tank stick itself is like 250 maybe or
I think
something like
so.
that. So you get that, and then you get the kind of the side buttons that are for pinball. It connects to your VR, and then has a pedestal too, which is a nice bonus, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and the people that swear by the pinball stuff in it in VR, it's kind of what intrigued me because I got into the virtual pinball stuff in the Quest quite a bit there, and constantly, probably for the last year, I've dabbled in like looking at how to build a virtual pinball machine.
Mm-hmm.
Even a do-it-yourself thing is pretty spendy, especially when it's like, oh, well, you really want, high-end computers so you can run 120 frames a second, and oh,
Yeah.
you want an OLED. So, this hooks up to Pinball Effects VR in MetaQuest. I think that's the only one. I think you could probably hook it up to your PC and run custom stuff. I haven't done that yet,
Sure.
but this has native. I mean, it's has the model of the arcade stand and everything in the game too, and stuff like that. So it's very much built specifically for that game.
Sure.
Um, and yeah, you know, once you have the same thing with the width of a pinball table and the two buttons there and everything, you really do forget that, oh, you're in VR. Like,
Does it have any like haptic feedback for like the ball or tilt or any of that stuff, or is it just the buttons?
so that's another $200 kit you have to buy.
Oh, okay.
Um, that you can even like it installs a plunger and everything on your on your thing too,
Seems like
and
you
I
should do
think that
that
would be
for
really
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plunger.
I don't know.
I mean, come on, plunger. It's pretty sweet.
Yep.
Although I guess most
Um,
modern or pinball games you do just tap the button most of the time anyway,
right.
or you can.
Yeah. There is some wonkiness in it where I don't know if they just can't figure out how to do it. But when you are up to the machine but haven't launched the ball yet, like it still thinks your arms are in the controllers.
Oh, okay.
So it's like kind of in the way. But as soon as you hit the launch button, then it goes back down to hiding them and showing them that they're down by the buttons.
Sure.
So I don't know if that's a bug that they haven't worked out or if they just can't. I don't know.
I mean, it's still pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I've been seeing tons of ads for it too. And I obviously have the digital pinball table, so I don't really have much of a need for it.
Hmm.
Although I think the Quest piece would be cool. What did you run like the retro stuff? Did you throw a Pi in there then?
Yeah. So then you can also hook it up just as a USB to a
Oh, okay.
PC or something like that
And then
for
I
a
just
a
map
controller.
your own buttons.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty sweet.
I've always done RetroPie in the past, which has been kind of hit or miss on a lot of things, but people swear by it's called Batocera. It's kind of an emulation platform that you can run on both Windows and Linux or Raspberry Pi.
Sure.
And it's, oh my gosh, it is so much easier. It's
Oh,
just like you
really?
install the image on the SD card, boot it up, and it's just like
Oh, really?
everything's configured. Yep.
Oh, that's nice. Because yeah, that's always that upfront organization and then like foldering that you have to do with the. I mean, not that it's that bad with a Pi, but yeah, it is a lot more clunky to
Yep.
get going for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I like the looks of it too. Like, I mean, I don't mind the traditional tank stick, but I think the way that it's like the gray and the red, like it kind of reminds me of like a Neo Geo cab, which I think is cool.
Yeah. Yep. The only thing is it's the base of it is mostly white. So you wonder like, is this gonna get kind of gross and
Yellowy and
grungy?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Collect some dead skin flakes in the creases.
Yep.
And, yeah,
Yep. I haven't figured out the trackball yet. I think that's probably just a setting, but
sure.
that's the one thing that's probably, dig deep in the menus to figure out what config for that thing. But
Yeah, I don't think I ever programmed anything correctly with mine either with the trackball. There's just so few games that use it that it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like a huge loss. Be
Yep.
fun to get like some Simpsons bowling or something up and running though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of been the thing where I just have it up and the kids can just hop on and play whatever they want, which
Nice.
is pretty cool. And just kind of randomly picking things like there's so many arcade games that weren't even here in the first place, and then were never even covered because there's not a lot of even people that cover that stuff. Outside of GameSack, I don't know of many people that are even talking about weird arcade games.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. I always enjoy going through mine and just like randomly pick. I mean, sometimes I think the challenge of like I've got one that's loaded up on RetroArch, and like the challenge with that then is like finding which core actually works with a lot of those boards. So it can be a crapshoot, but
Oh yeah, this one's super easy. You just load it into the one
when it just
folder
finds
and
it,
it just does it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I should almost rebuild my setup a little bit for some of that stuff. But one thing at a
Yeah.
time. That's cool. I
And so
didn't
far
realize it
I'm
was
only
that
doing
cheap.
yeah, it's not bad. I mean with shipping there's
Right.
like 50 $60 in shipping too, but
But lots of
overall not
versatility.
not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
I was going to put it like a monitor behind it, but it ended up like a 24-inch monitor fits right
Yeah, it looked like
into
a good
the
setup.
right on top, so
Yeah,
works pretty good.
nice. Now you just gotta get some fun backlights to like make it look like a real gamer station, and
Yeah, yeah,
because it's not a
yeah.
gamer thing in these days if it doesn't have RGB. I hate to
Right.
tell you.
Well, the bottom, yeah, there's like a glass etch, laser etch glass that says X Arcade, and that has RGB
Oh no
like
shit.
lighting on it. So
That's kind of
that's on the
cool.
pedestal. Yeah.
Nice, nice. I I picked up a game that you talked about a few episodes ago and played through it on cloud, and that was Keeper.
Oh.
That's an interesting game for one of those. I found myself to the point where I thought I was in the final phase, and I felt very good about the pacing it had and completing it, and then it just kind of kept going on for like another 45 minutes to an hour that I
Mm.
wasn't in love with. Part of that
It's
was,
the boat section.
yeah, I was like, okay, naturally this will
Yeah.
come to conclusion. You think it will, and then it doesn't again. And then I was playing on cloud and I had like some bandwidth issues, and you needed like really precise controls for that last section. and I basically had to put it down and come back at a later time when we had less people using devices in the house to like get it to stream well enough to finish. I still think it's really cool overall. I don't quite understand the ending, but visually
Well,
it's neat.
I think you need some substances for the ending to help,
Yeah,
I think.
it is. It is wild. I do think those last couple phases get a little grindy with like fetch. I mean, it's not hard. It's just I like them when they're paced better for like just smooth momentum, and less like, okay, I gotta go find three of these things now. I gotta backtrack and do this. Like that's where I maybe got a couple knocks from me, but yeah, as far as like a walking
Yeah.
simulator game, it's really cool.
The I think you're right. I think the puzzles are not good enough to quantify like the do it 3 times
Right.
thing
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's the
where
repetition. Like one time you'd be like, okay, that was neat, let's move on. But it's like, okay, you learned that. Now you have to do that thing again three more times to get out of this area.
yep, yep.
I mean, I think the highlight of the whole thing was just like that phase shift section in like that robot town and like the way that that dynamic worked. Like as
Mm-hmm.
far as like time moving forward and back, that was probably like peak for me of like gameplay and puzzling. And then towards the end, it just seemed like, yeah, maybe they should have streamlined some of those ideas.
Yep. Well, and then the Sonic the Hedgehog
Yeah.
bits at the end are pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Just like, here's a half pipe, go nuts. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I got really pissed off at that last thing you needed to do to get to the final boss too, where it was like, I'm hitting the thing. Why can't I open the thing? And then I, like, to the point where I finally just like had to watch a let's play to realize I hit all three of the things to do the thing I've already done a million times before. But yeah, kind of a little bit
It's
of a letdown too when the final boss is mostly just like a breeze, and then like you don't even finish off the boss. Like your off-screen NPCs come in, and I don't know.
yeah. I mean, it's. I don't think it's anything amazing, but it is surprising how many people have not talked about it at all
Yeah,
for a Double Fine game, and
right.
it's supposed to be a pretty big release for Xbox.
I mean, I think when you put it in the context of like those types of games, like it's better than like an Abzu and like some of that stuff. Like it's up there with Brothers or Journey. It just maybe could have used a little more polish in the fourth
Yeah,
act, I think.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, a visual showpiece for sure. Like you just spend the whole time gawking around, looking at all the weird stuff, and that's cool.
yeah. Good art direction for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like we said with these games, when you're clocking in at like 4 hours, it's not like asking a whole lot of you. So
Unless it's the game that we're going to talk about later.
that's true. Precursor, yeah, yeah. Other than that, I did pick up because I had a gift certificate from Christmas, and like Best Buy was doing like $10 reward certificates, which they never do anymore if you're a rewards member. So I went to the store and I was like, what could I buy that I don't already have for Switch 2? And didn't even realize that Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment had come out. Like, you didn't really hear anything about it. So I grabbed that. Obviously, it was the only other physical game that I can get from Nintendo on the Switch 2. And I've maybe put 4 hours into that. But the problem with those games is like you fire up and there's so much story and contexting before you even get to the games. So like I feel like I've spent 3/4 of my playtime so far just watching story, which is interesting and it's good. But I just kind of want to get in like slash stuff, and it's just like by the time I got through the initial cutscenes to play, I was basically ready to put it down. So I did like half of a training session and then just like walked away for a while. Um, yeah, if you've played any of those other or Hyrule Warrior or any of the Warriors games, you know what to expect here. Definitely benefits from the Switch 2 hardware. Like it runs like it should. If you play the ones on the Switch, you know they can get kind of funky with hundreds of enemies on screen. This runs buttery smooth. Some of the characters I've played with are more fun to play with than others, but yeah, it's pretty good. I know I've never beaten one, but I'll usually put like 10, 20 hours in, so
Really? Huh.
I'll pick it back up at some point.
I have never I think I would enjoy them, but I don't think I've ever put enough time into them. I mean,
Yeah.
the ones that I always, have played were the Dynasty Warriors, which
Right.
the theme of that just does not grab me, just the
Yeah.
ancient whatever stuff. It doesn't grab me at all. So, it's been reskinned a million times in
Right.
different ways that I probably would like. I just have never tried it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I think that's probably what draws me into it too. From a game that, I mean, I do have some Dynasty Warriors games, but there's just something again about being back in Hyrule with like the heroes and the characters that you like, and this one drops you into the depths pretty much like right away. So you're kind of like in that
mm,
mess pretty early on. So that's kind of fun. I mean, I do
yeah.
feel like between Tears of the Kingdom, the other Hyrule Warrior games, and Breath of the Wild, like it's sort of just rehashing story that you're already familiar with. Like I haven't run into anything that's like telling me anything new here. It's a lot of
Oh,
Tears of the Kingdom stuff.
is it? That's what I was wondering. Is it doing its own story in that world, or is it just kind of expanding the lore of what?
It's more sticking to what you're familiar with, and so far from what I've seen, it's not expanding a lot. It's a lot of right now just those flash contexts and those flashback scenes from Tears of the Kingdom, where Princess Zelda is sent back and she's meeting, the current rulers of Hyrule and stuff. So I
Mm,
haven't seen anything new, but it feels, and that's maybe where I got bored with it early on was this cutscene sequence is kind of just showing me what I played in Tears. So,
yeah.
but the gameplay is still very engaging. I mean, there's something very fun about just constantly wiping out dozens of enemies and super moves and things like that.
Huh. Have you picked up Metroid some more? Finished it?
I have not touched it since we talked last. How about you?
Yeah, yeah. I played a little bit more. Yeah, I got to the motorcycle factory, but I have not gotten the motorcycle yet. And I don't
I
know.
find that section and where it's introduced very challenging because the map is not super great. Everything looks the same,
Mm,
and it's a ton of back and forth in a very drab environment. So I almost fell off there for a while. And once you punch through that, it gets a little better. But I'm at the point in the story where I'm having to revisit that again now. And that's kind of why I
mm,
haven't picked it back up because I just don't want to go back into that space. Like I didn't enjoy it the
yeah,
first time. And I know I'm gonna have to retraverse everything.
yeah.
So
Huh.
and the bike training
Hmm.
tutorial section is pretty stupid, if I'm gonna be honest. It is
Well,
it's a very
the bike
basic machine.
the bike is stupid to begin with in a Metroid
Yeah,
game anyway.
sure.
But
I'll give you that.
we can stop it at that. I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll concur. Yeah. No, I'll
Oh
get back
yeah,
to it at some point. I should knock it out. I do want to finish it, but there's only so
yeah.
much time.
We did finish Split Fiction,
Okay.
which boy, I don't know. You know, that company keeps making those games. I don't know what they're going to do after that because the ending of that game, they have explored the hell out of what you could do with
The two player
with
split screen
that. Yeah,
dynamic.
yeah, to the point where I don't know how you could top that. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I'll play their next game for sure,
Sure.
but
Still very high up on your list then?
yeah, yeah, it's really good. The the story doesn't really pay off or anything like that. It's kind of lame, but that's not really.
You're right. You're not there necessarily for that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, just the constant changes in how well it's designed is really good.
Cool. Yeah, I've been wanting to still pick that up, but I'll fit it in at some point. I was
Hmm.
really, really hoping it would come up on Epic before the end of that, but it didn't. So I have a feeling it will be on Epic free at some point in the next year. It just seems like one of
Yeah,
those
they
games that's
usually are.
destined for it.
Yeah, yeah. Then again, I think it's an EA game, and now EA is
Oh, that's
a
true.
Middle Eastern company, so who knows
That's true. Good point.
what that is at this point.
Did you get around to Stranger Things then?
No,
Okay. I wanted
we're
to talk
so
finale, but I'm not going to talk finale with you since We'll get to finale when you've wrapped.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put that on the thing that we needed to get that done. Um, we've been really bad at watching more mature stuff. I think the kids have just been staying up later, so it's harder to find
Yeah, that makes
time to
sense.
knock that stuff out.
Yeah,
And we're spending more time in the basement instead of other areas that we could be doing that too. But
yeah, yeah. No, we got through it, and it was. I don't know. It seems like people either love it or hate it. I think it was just fine.
yeah,
I think it. My. I won't spoil anything. I'll just say before we move on. I think it does definitely give Return of the King a run for its money in longest prologue,
oh,
and that's all I'll say because it's pretty big. You're kind of like, well, that's over, and we got how much left now? So yeah, there's
do you
that.
think they were? Was it we were gonna do another season and then?
Well, I read, there's been a lot of interviews with the creators since then, but I read a post the other day that was like, yeah, we didn't have the finale written before the end of this season started filming. I'm like, yep, kind of figured that. Like,
Oh wow,
seems like it. I still think it was fine. There's some problems with it, but nothing that I would say makes it bad in any way. I thought
Hmm.
good. It was, I mean, not a home run, but certainly solid enough. People have left series off far, far worse. So
for sure. And
can't
you
use
just
Seinfeld.
when you build something up that big,
Yeah.
there's never been one that's really been perfect series
Right.
finale, right? I can't even. What was a like highly regarded one? I don't even know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite shows of all time, Supernatural. I kind of don't love that ending. So yeah, I think this did just fine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
Looks like you've been watching something though. That might be
Yeah,
adult.
this came up on this came up on Amazon Prime. It's the Naked Gun reboot.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of those Leslie Nielsen 80s movies, Airplane, Naked Gun. Um, as they went on, they get a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Once you're getting into the wrongfully accused and Spy Hard, those are a little bit grown.
Yep.
But this reboot does a really good job at like the same thing. Obviously, it's Leslie Nielsen who's been Mr. Action Man for how long now? And he pretty much does the same thing. He plays it straight.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like doing it for the comedy. And that's kind of what makes Naked Gun work. Well, Leslie Nielsen in general, because he was a dramatic actor before, right? And
Right.
he was just doing the same thing, but just saying dumber shit. And I think they do a pretty good job in it at this. And there's some man. I don't know the last time I laughed at a movie that hard. I guess
Nice.
there's definitely some stuff that's like, okay, this is a little bit Family Guy-ish, maybe I would say, but
Sure.
to that level. But there's some pretty good jokes in there too. And
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. They nailed the tone, which is kind of impressive because a movie like that hasn't existed in 30 years. I kind of had
yeah,
the opposite happen to me. I don't know if it was just I was in the wrong mindset or something, but I watched the first 20 minutes and then realized I hadn't laughed once and I just stopped.
really,
And it
wow,
wasn't it was clearly well written and it was doing the thing, but it like for whatever reason the day I chose to watch it, it just wasn't clicking with me. So I'll have to go back when I'm in the right frame of mind, I guess.
Did you get to the middle section? Is probably the funniest bits, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't get
Uh,
there. I got kind of just shortly past where, Anderson's character comes in and like just the starts of that, and that's kind
oh,
of where
yeah,
I left it. So,
yeah,
but I've heard people have said it's really good. I just got to try it again.
yeah. And it's one of those that I think probably doesn't work as well the more you watch it because you
Sure,
already know
the
most of the
surprises.
laughs are like, yeah, most of the laughs are like how ridiculous it is to see it the first time.
Yeah,
Um, And
I'm
after
sure there's
that,
some
it's
great
just,
one-liners in there though that you can be quoting for years.
yeah. And there's probably ones that you miss too. There's just things that a lot of those type of movies, they always had gags going on in the background and stuff that you don't even like
Yeah.
pay attention to.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's cool. I will have to revisit that one. Because I know it was like a my mood thing when I was watching it. So
I wouldn't mind them making another one and just bringing that genre back again.
I mean, based on how that was received, I think it did pretty damn well. So I would be
Yeah.
shocked if they don't do another one.
Yeah. The hard part is, you don't want it to get too popular because then you start getting into when they really got bad. The kind of when scary movies started getting to 4 and 5 and all those,
Sure.
and then all those other movies after that, those were so bad. They were just like movie references. They weren't even jokes.
Yeah.
Um, we can't get back to that point. That would be awful.
Well, and the problem then too is there was like always like 3 or 4 of those types of movies all running alongside each other. So it was just
Yeah.
it was an overload. Yeah.
Well, comedy in general. I would just like comedy movies in general. Would be
Right.
great.
Well, Bert Kreischer's got a new show coming to Netflix.
But, I don't know.
It's about Bert Kreischer being Bert Kreischer. Yeah,
That's
I watched
new.
the trailer for that. I watched the trailer for that and it looked like the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. Just like this guy is like talk about a falling star. Like I used to laugh at some of his stuff, and now I'm just like, dude, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I saw a clip from his latest podcast on like one of those like clip channels, and it was the two bears, and it's just Bert explaining how great of a weekend he had when his wife left town. He just spent the weekend locked in his bedroom watching Oculus porn, and he's like, "This is the future." I'm like, "Dude, you're like a 50-something-year-old man who's married and has daughters in college, and this is what you're presenting on a
and you're
podcast."
on podcasts. Oh
Like,
my gosh.
yeah, like anybody wants to hear that.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's
That's
definitely a problem with comedy right now. Like even in stand up, like it was just oversaturation.
Yeah. That podcast especially wasn't like they took a break and some other people took over and everybody like hated was like
Yeah.
loving it because they hate the podcast.
Yeah, the guys they got in to host it for the summer, Stav and I can't remember the other guy's name, basically spent the whole 3 months just shitting on them to their audience on their podcast. And it was the highest rated episodes in like 9 months. So great.
Wow.
They're both rich as hell. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
I did watch one other new movie. I finally sat through Tron Ares, which
I did too.
yeah. I'm gonna say right off the bat, I don't think it's as egregious as everyone said it was gonna be. I think it's skin deep, has zero soul, but it is still a Tron movie. That I wish they would have taken the momentum from Tron Legacy and continued it with that actor. I mean, I like the fact that they paid reference to his character and like now Ares is like looking at a weird photoshopped version of that guy who's like 40 pounds heavier and bald and is going to be tracking him down if we ever get a sequel. But yeah, it was lazy writing, but it was still an enjoyable movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think the disappointing part was pretty well known that it's mostly in our world, not
Right.
not in Tron's world on the grid, so to speak. So I think that probably was maybe a decision to keep the visual effects budget down. Probably.
Yeah. But then even just like the concept of like somehow this rival company is also like doing the exact same thing. Like this company we've never heard of is doing the exact same thing as the company that founded the technology. And it just instantly comes down to like, we just need this one line of code, which you learn 2 minutes into this movie. And that's the whole plot. And it's just like, well,
yeah,
that's lazy, man.
There's so much going against it. That, and generally a story about two huge businesses at each other's, which is, no, but that's not appealing to the common person.
Right.
And then, Jared Leto is
might be his best role.
Wanted.
It turns out lifeless inhuman fuck is what he's good at playing.
Yep.
He was made for that role.
yeah. But yeah, I was having a good time with it. I think the
Yeah.
soundtrack does
Yeah.
a lot of heavy lifting in this movie.
Yeah. As soon as you hear
It's
Trent
really
Reznor
good.
coming through, you're like, yeah, I like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. When was the last time that ever happened where it's like I'm doing a soundtrack and during the cool part,
The vocals come in.
the vocals come
Yeah.
in? Yeah.
I know I had the same thought because I'm thinking Disney was like, hey, we want to sell some soundtracks on this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a huge part of their marketing too. But yeah, it's definitely the most like unintelligent or making a blockbuster Tron movie that there has been. And I know a lot of people didn't like Tron Legacy either, but I actually really liked it
I
quite a
like that
bit.
one. Yeah.
This is not anywhere near that, but I still walked away enjoying it, I guess.
Yeah.
I
I'd
do
like
like,
I mean, when
oh,
it
go
goes
ahead.
back to the old one is pretty
Yeah.
neat, but at the same time it looks kind of hokey
It didn't
that they're
quite pull it
doing.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That segment looked really odd.
It's
Um,
really weird to do modern visual effects to make it look like something that was cutting edge first visual effects, you know? That's what
I
they're trying to replicate.
that retro scene though, or the old '80s PC scene, was so cringy. Like it was already cringy in the real world, where Jared Leto steals that Honda Civic, and then like the girl gets in, he's like blah blah blah, whatever. It's like it's a classic, or like classic, and then like he goes into the retro world 5 minutes later almost, and gets in like a retro light bike. And he's like classic. That's not your catchphrase. That's just stupid. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I did like too that like the good guys or whatever who were like trying to get the technology and get the permanence code. Obviously they're like growing a fruit tree. They're like, we've solved the world's problems. And then like the movie cuts away and all they've done is grown like 4 orange trees on top of a roof on their skyscraper. I'm like, you guys solved nothing. Like,
Yeah.
you're not feeding the masses. You're just marketing this shit and making people pay for it.
Well, I think that's kind of the most depressing part of this is because you compare that world to like you look at that and be like, that is like a fever dream. If that actually happened here, it would be
Mhm.
used in all the wrong ways. There's
Oh,
no way
100%.
that this is like, oh, we saved the earth and we did perfect. This is
We would have 85-foot gold statues of Trump on every corner in every city in America, is what would happen if this technology existed.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember, does Tron die in Legacy?
I think it's alluded to that he does, but I think it happens. Doesn't it happen where he falls off camera into like the abyss, so you don't really know?
Something like that. Yeah.
I want to say that's how it happened. Um, was the bad guy's mom the actress from X-Files?
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is funny
I
because we've
thought it
been
was
watching
her.
X Files with the kids, and it blew their mind that I'm like, "Oh, that's Scully," and they're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
I got like halfway through the movie where I'm like, I know who she is, and I was like, no, is that it? And then my wife couldn't confirm, so yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I'm glad I
think
didn't
that
see
was
it
the
in
weirdest
theaters,
part.
but
Oh yeah, for sure. But to have a Tron movie and not have Tron in it at
mhm.
this point is really weird. They didn't even reference him at all.
Right,
I don't think they did.
yeah. My biggest
It's
complaint
weird.
with those, both of these movies, like Legacy and Ares, is just like how they've basically brought Jeff Bridges back into them, but he just plays the dude. Like
Yep.
he's not even playing the guy he was in the original movie anymore.
Yeah.
It's funny.
At least they didn't de-age him in this one,
Yeah, that's true.
like you did in Legacy. But
That technology was not good. Yeah.
if they just make this a lot more low budget and made it like featuring like, hey, we got a new band making the soundtrack, and then like theme it around that as more of a musical movie,
Hmm.
and it just has like, I mean, because most of them, even Legacy was mostly a lot of Daft Punk stuff, right?
So like an industrial Fantasia is what you're going for.
Right. Just have the next person up and just yeah. I
I
think that
like
would
it.
be all right. Obviously, you got to make it a little more low budget so you don't
Yeah.
lose your ass every time you try and do a Tron movie every 15 years. So
Well, yeah, that's the problem too with Disney is like they're like, well, see, we brought Tron back and nobody liked it. I was like, well, you waited 30 years and then you waited another like 18. Like by the time like your movie going audience is the age to see these in theaters, they have no reference for what
Yeah.
was before. So
It is weird though that they do keep trying, and I don't know why because it's never taken. I don't think even the
no,
first one was anything.
no. Well, yeah, they
It-
invented that technology for this first movie that was only ever used in that film. Like, well, no, that's not true. There was like a short that Disney did that used the same animation effect, but like, yeah, they
okay,
just kind of abandoned. Yeah.
but I think even the newest ride at Disney World is pretty much a ride
Oh,
too, and
really?
it's like
Yeah. It might be
I'm
something that
glad they're
would be
trying, but
better adapted as like a Disney Plus series or something, right? Like, just give us like 6 episode seasons every couple years,
mhm.
and I don't know. I still like the concept of Tron, even if the movie isn't the best. But
Yeah,
well, does that get us on the staff picks then?
I think so.
I'll let you go first. Curious.
Yeah, this is
It's a game, right?
a game that me and Amanda picked up after Split Fiction. We were having so much fun playing split screen that there is a Revenge of the Savage Planet, which is, I guess, a sequel to
Savage Planet.
Return. Yeah, I forget what the name of that one is called. Um, and I beat that one. That one was pretty fun. But this one seems a little bit different than that. I'd have to go back and see exactly how it works, everything. But this has two-player split screen couch co-op, and it works really well. It's like kind of a platforming game with enemies and a big open world with a lot of collectibles,
Okay.
a lot of exploration, capturing the creatures, then researching them, and then that gets your unlocks and everything to your equipment. Then you have elemental stuff that helps you with a lot of puzzles to get a lot of other secrets too. So it's a lot of secret hunting around the whole map, and that's there's kind of a story. There's some amazing FMV in the ship where they have like fake commercials of in the future. It's great. Um, and yeah, we beat it tonight.
Oh wow.
Got two different endings, and I think we're still going to go back and then 100% every map and get all this stuff because it's a lot of fun. And at the end, it's just amazing because we've upgraded to like quadruple jump and then like a double lasso, so we can just basically scoot across the whole map in the sky
Spider-Man
at will.
essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty amazing. So
Nice. That's always a fun dynamic in games, like those first couple Crackdown games where like by the third act you're just like superhuman and like leaping over the whole game.
yeah, yeah.
So
Actually,
is it
that's a very good comparison to that Crackdown. Yeah.
so is there like cooperative elements for like puzzles, or is it just that you can split screen co-op it?
Yeah, it's pretty much you can
Yeah.
split screen it. Yeah,
That's fun though. I mean,
it
again,
makes
there
it
aren't
easier,
enough of
in
those.
some challenges. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there's not enough games that do that anymore, so it's always cool to see.
and
Is
it's really good as far as like you can be across the entire map on the same thing, and then yeah, I
oh
could be
really?
like, okay, I'm gonna teleport back to the ship and start a research thing, and there's no load time in between any of it. So like you can go.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know if you
awesome.
could go to two different planets, maybe not,
But you're not like
but
tethered or having to worry about that stuff.
right,
That's cool.
yeah.
Did you play like split screen, or were you on separate screens and different devices?
Split screen, yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, it works pretty good,
Nice.
and it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I think I like, had saw it on there. That's why that title sounded familiar to me.
Yep.
Nice. Well, my staff pick is a little less interesting. I had to change it slightly to throw you off the scent. So on our notes, I put pickleball, but I didn't want you to get confused and think I was like actually getting exercise. What it should actually read is pickle balls. So I went into Casey's,
I
and
have had these.
there was a pop up stand for Vlasic's pickle balls, which look like alien green cheese balls that are just pickle flavored. They're probably like the best thing ever. They're so amazingly delicious.
Hmm.
If you like pickles, dill pickles specifically.
Yeah,
And it's
they
like
are.
290 calories for like the full bag, which is a good sized bag. I mean, tons of sodium, obviously, but for like a shitty snack, I like
Yeah,
it.
they're basically like Cheeto balls, but
Yeah.
pickle flavored. Yeah, yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
So big fan.
RFK is probably nightmare. Like that's like the one thing that he would probably be like, this
You
is
can
the worst
only
thing
eat
possible.
meat and unprocessed foods. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I had not seen these anywhere, but like I was intrigued enough to buy them, and then I went back and bought the spicy dill pickle kind, which I actually think is better if you're a spice fan. But
I I was surprised. I wanted to say I was looking at the back of it, and they co-opted pickleballs the game too. Like the balls are on the all on the back of it too. So like they're
oh
in on the
really?
joke too. Yeah,
So
they
they
know
know
what they're
what they're
doing.
doing?
And I think their website was like something like this would be this is like misleading to other people that actually just want a pickleball game, which is massively more popular than this snack. But,
Well, I hope the snack doesn't get like a lawsuit or something because they're on to something with this. So,
yep.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure the dye in it that makes it whatever color that green is just horrendous for you.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. If you find them, grab them. I recommend.
Yep. I've gotten them at Five Below. So
Have
they're
you?
there
Okay.
too. Yep.
Nice.
Because of
Well,
course, you know, Five Below is full of weird shit and like
that's true.
balls that
That's
look like
actually
pickles.
that does seem like something you'd find at Five Below now that you mention it. Like every
Yep.
weird brand of candy. What did I see there the other day that like intrigued me? It was like some weird candy bar, and it was like Australia's favorite or something. And I looked at it, and I think it was just like a Butterfinger sort of thing from Australia, but I didn't want to pay the like 250 or whatever they wanted for it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they've always got something interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should we get on to our weekend rental?
Yeah.
All right. So, weekend rental, of course, if you're unfamiliar, we play a game for a given system. Andy and I will give our opinions after putting some time into it as to whether we would personally buy, rent, or burn the game. We are talking about the GameCube this episode and Wario World, which is probably among the least popular first party Nintendo titles that came out on the GameCube, which is generally stacked with quality first party titles. So,
Yeah. The funny thing about this is it's developed by Treasure, which is a well-known, like highly respected developer in a lot of ways. But the fact, the pun of Wario being developed by a Treasure
oh,
is
yeah.
just too much to
I didn't
ignore.
think about it. Well, their characteristics, especially from the Genesis era, you see carry over into much of the level design and enemies. I feel like that makes more
Yeah,
sense now that you say that because I
maybe
wasn't
not
aware.
maybe not the high pace fluidity of their second
There
games.
is that. Yes. Yeah. I think is this the only 3D Wario game that's ever been released too,
Hmm.
other than Wario World 3D on the Virtual Boy? But I'd argue that that's a 2D side scroller regardless. So
That's a good point. Is WarioWare, was there ever anything? I mean,
God,
there might be some mini games that he's 3D or
yeah,
something, but
I don't think so. Not where he's like the main dude in a 3D environment. And maybe we're giving a little bit too much credit because we are saying 3D, but there are many segments of this game that are rendered in 3D but are on a 2D plane.
hmm
I'd actually argue that those segments are better because the camera in this game is atrocious. So navigating 3D space when you have no control over your line of sight is tough in open environments.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, and you know, Super Mario Sunshine, I think, is not a very good 3D platformer
right.
as far as like space awareness, and this one is even worse than that.
Yeah. This feels like the least polished Nintendo platformer that I've seen come out. I mean, it just there's age to take into consideration, right, of the release of this. But when you look at what else was coming out on the GameCube, this thing just doesn't even stack up. Like you even look at Sega's stuff, like Billy Thatcher and or Hatcher or whatever that one is.
hmm
Um, Sunshine, as you mentioned, like they're all just more polished all around, from controls to hitboxes to visuals.
Do you think this was a Wario game the whole time?
I mean, it certainly doesn't need to be, because there is nothing Wario about it other than Wario.
Yeah. Just because it's so disparate in like, I mean, the levels and the enemies and stuff. There is nothing Nintendo like in it at
Right.
all.
I agree.
Um, and Wario Land is kind of in that way too, in some respects.
Sure.
But still, I mean, the bosses in this are like, this is some of this stuff is just messed up. You know?
Yeah. I mean, they got more disturbing almost every level you went in.
Yeah.
And it's like such a razor thin plot for a game. Like, it's Wario sitting in his castle with all his gold, and then an evil entity steals everything. And then you're just dropped into a hub world where you pick from, is there 5 overworlds maybe? I don't know, 5,
Four.
4. And you enter the first one, and like you basically are introduced to the premise of the game, which is 2 levels per area, and then a third level that is just a boss encounter. But you do have end bosses at each of the first 2 level encounters too. And you go into these levels and you basically punch, jump, and traverse your way through, having to along the way find trap doors, fall down them, and collect gems to unlock the true ending of the level. And it feels very formulaic and unnatural for platformers of that era. And then the fact that that basic recipe kind of, I felt like, wears thin pretty early on. By the time you get past the first zone, like, I was just kind of already annoyed with the gameplay loop, and it doesn't get better.
Yeah, I think that's the part that I think there's an A to B to C on this, that maybe it wasn't a Wario game first, and
Yeah.
then they threw Wario in, and then it was like, oh shit, we only made 8 levels, so we have to massage this to be a bigger game. So now we have these buttons that you have to collect all the treasure, and now it's a lot of backtracking and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
exploring these levels, which I didn't mind the first couple levels, but after that, it really does wear thin. And in certain cases, I maybe I missed a spot, but there was like where I had to make a choice on a certain part of the level, and I could not get back to something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was locked out of getting that collectible unless I restarted. And they know you have to do that, I think, because at the end of the level, they have like these little balloons that if you jump onto the balloons, it takes you to the beginning of the level. So it's
Right.
like, this is part of the game design to be doing that. It's not,
Yeah.
and that's bad sign when you have to be like, hey, here's this handy thing where you can start over.
Yep.
Not good.
Yeah, that is a cheap workaround. Um, I also don't like the death mechanic, which is sticking with what Wario turned into with 4, where there is no death. You just fall down and like have to find a spring to bounce back up without having these like money sucking ghouls take your cash, because your cash is also your life. So if you die, if you actually die, not just fall down a hole, um, there's no consequence really as long as you have money in the bank. You just restart from where
Yeah.
you were at. So there's that. It's nice from a progression standpoint, but I also feel like that works well in the favor of this game because it's just got shitty game design as far as like bosses and hit detection and like enemy patterns, and like there's so many spots where it's just so easy to have all of your life wiped out in like even a corridor with 2 enemies. If they have the right abilities, like, you're just in for a bad time.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's so much a feature of the game in a cool sense as it is just a way to get around like sloppy difficulty spikes in
Yeah.
areas.
There's oftentimes a requirement in the level design where you have to grab an enemy when he's down after you punch it a few times. He's laying on the ground. You have to grab him. You have to either spin him, pile drive him, or throw him at something. And oftentimes those areas are also flooded with um, respawning enemies constantly. And a
Yeah.
lot of them are just like one shot. They don't do anything. They're dead. To the point where you just constantly get overrun by this stuff when you're just trying to pick up an enemy and
Yep.
do the thing that he wants you to do. And you're just getting hit left and right. And then you drop the guy, and then he gets up, and then have to start all over. It's maddening
Yeah.
when it's just like, I did this battle arena. These guys were all dead. Just let me pick up one guy and do the thing.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like those battle another thing with like the game design, like those battle arenas and like those like kind of mini bosses that require 3 rounds of hits, like it's just
Mm-hmm.
so formulaic, not fun, yet they insist on inserting them into every level for reasons I don't understand. I guess maybe coin collecting. It's frustrating. And a lot of like a lot of the enemies past like just the base enemy have like really annoying block mechanics that are just not fun to have to try and work around when you don't have a lot of depth in the play field to get behind them. And then there's also this weird thing where fucking Blastoise just appears in levels for some reason I don't understand. It is not licensed, I would assume, through the Pokemon company, but he's there. He's just Blastoise.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they threw him in the game. Yeah, that one I was just like, really? And then like you see him, you just keep seeing him throughout the game. You're like, how did they get away with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. I thought it would be I figured it would be somewhat weird.
Yeah.
Because what do you do with a Wario 3D game? There's no precedent before that, really. But
yeah. I think my favorite sections are those like bonus areas where it just like takes you into a warp zone and you just get to try it as much as you want without penalty to like traverse, a 3D puzzle. It reminded me a lot of like sections like Mario Galaxy or even maybe like Mario 64, like the Bowser runs and stuff. Like
yeah.
those are
Sunshine
neat.
had those too, where you go in those holes and then they take the jetpack away. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are fun, and they're self-contained little nuggets that are always enjoyable, but they're also kind of hampered again by that like really crappy camera. They do give you the ability in those sections to like rotate it, but like none of those angles are generally good. And then on top of that, you have like super slippery controls with Wario, so it was rare that I got through one of those without dying at least once. And did you get to the one where it was like the ball on a stick and you had to like time when that thing launched to like shoot you across the gap?
That was terrible.
Dude, I probably spent 10 minutes trying to get that thing right.
Yeah.
No, like
That's
give
awful.
an indication, like a countdown or like a clicking sound, like when you have to time that and it's a split second. I don't get it.
That's exactly what you want in a clunky 3D platformer is like stuff that depends on timing like that. And
it's got to be like a half a second window that you have to do that in with no indication as to when you're going to go off.
Yeah, because if you do it a little bit early, you just like shoot off like 5 feet and you're down. And then could you imagine if I lost a life on that been.
I feel like that's interesting with those sections because they don't have any like life mechanics, hit damage, or like the reset with the coins. I think they knew that when they were designing them, they were just like, if we do this, no one will ever beat this game. You know what I mean? Because the game definitely feels like it's geared towards the younger audience. This isn't even like Mario level of like maturity in a platformer. I feel like this is very much I'm a kid. I want to punch stuff and jump around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. But there were some pretty challenging sections, I thought, as far as some of the battle arenas where it was just too many things going on.
Yeah.
And blocking and
But then at least they give you all the coins, so you can just keep cheesing it, and eventually you're gonna win.
Yeah, and for a GameCube game, I expect the respawn level shouldn't be that bad, where people go off a screen, and then you come back and they're right there.
Yeah, it's also disappointing too that there's none of like. I mean, I haven't played all the Wario games, but almost all of them, there's like power ups. Like that's, just like Mario, it's an essential feature, like hats, or enemies give it to you depending on the Wario, and there's just none of that. So you have like this very kind of rudimentary move set that doesn't have a lot of depth to it, and just kind of gets you through the whole game. And you're playing through the new levels and the new worlds, hoping that that's going to change, or the formula of the gameplay is going to change, or the level design, and it all just kind of stays the same. So it's like, if you're not gonna get progression rewards other than like you're getting closer to the end of the game, it's kind of hard to want to come back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And when a level is like 40 minutes long, that's also
Yeah,
an issue.
yeah, for sure. And some of that, like you mentioned, like the enemies that you have to pick up. I think the most egregious is like when you have to do that and jump through those gates that require like the enemy body slam. Because
Hmm.
so many times I would clip that like hitbox wrong, and it would just like spike an enemy into the ground, and I have to redo the thing like 3 times to get it. Like it shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I hate those annoying little like gnome things you have to save from the boxes. They just tell you the most stupid shit that you've already learned.
Yeah. They've turned tip boxes into collectibles that you have to earn.
Yeah.
They record at the yeah.
And Wario's constant babbling every time you take out an enemy too. Like he's got like
Yeah.
2 sound bites and you hear them constantly. It's not great.
Oh, it's the perfect pause music too. Where
Oh,
he's
I didn't
just going
even
na 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 na
I didn't even
the
notice
entire time. Oh boy.
that. Oh, it's funny. I always went to the menu, so I never heard that. Instead of like pausing it, I'll have to give it a
Oh
shot.
yeah.
Well, he is everyone's most lovable character from Nintendo.
Hmm.
So, well, what do you think you would give Wario Land, or is it Wario World? Wario World. I'm sorry.
Mario World, yeah.
Um,
I think it's got to be a burn. There's for the potential that you could have done. Even if you were just going to say we're taking Wario Land to 3D, that would have been just the bare minimum, I think, expectation, and they
right.
didn't do that very well. So I think, yeah, it's a burn. Unfortunately, I would love a Wario World game to be good, but
Yeah, I'll be generous and give it a rent. I don't think I'm gonna finish it or play it again, but it is far below expectations for a game on the GameCube. I mean, there's so many even like that was the era of mascot platformers, like 3D ones. There's
mhm.
so many other games that got ported over to this platform that are so much better. And I think you were definitely onto something with Treasure having designed a framework for something that was not a Wario game, and they just struck a deal with Nintendo, and this is what we
Yeah,
got. It makes
you got to
perfect
pitch me.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah, now that you say that, like I completely agree. But I mean, I'm glad I
Yeah.
finally dusted it off because I've never put time into it. I've had it in my collection for years, but I see why this is not talked about in the GameCube library.
It's unfortunate because I think I don't know if this came out before or after 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it was early in the GameCube for sure. I do remember it being pretty early on.
Because I mean, I guess Shake It came out after this, but that's more of a 2D thing. But was this the last like Wario platformer?
Possibly, yeah, if it wasn't four. Yeah, you might
Yeah,
be right because then it all went to like WarioWare.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is a
Oh
bummer.
man,
They should
Shake It.
bring it
Like
back.
that classic SNL skit is like the best thing ever. Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah,
So good.
I think they should hand it over to Waluigi and give him a game. See what happens.
Waluigi is the protagonist, and this would have made a whole lot more sense. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, for how weirdly proportioned that guy is, he would have fit in perfect to everything else in this world.
100%. Plus, like in World 2 of this, like when you're just introducing like nightmarish clown filled carnival levels, like nobody
Yeah,
wants that. Like that's just nightmare fuel for everyone.
right. It's like Nintendo Bloodborne going on in this game.
Yeah. Well, I guess that gets us through another one,
Yeah. Um, Send us your Wario 3D game pitch meeting, pitch deck to weekendrentalpodcast at gmail.com. We'll pass it on Nintendo and make sure it gets made.
huh? All our contacts over there.
Yeah. Do we have a P.O. box so we can get pickleballs sent to us? I don't know.
Oh man, I wonder if Vlasic will sponsor a podcast. I'm gonna find out.
Ooh.
That could work well for us.
Yep.
Not our
Yeah.
sodium levels, but
uh, yeah, and we do a movie podcast specifically for the Geekade Patreon. So you want to check them out because beyond that, you're also getting a lot of other cool geeky podcasts. So I would check them out. But until next time, be kind, rewind.
news.